Welcome back, everyone, and by demand and request, we're going to tie the jigging Buford today. I'll leave the comment here so you can see it. This is what I was using right before John caught the Musky. A little different. This one's tied with a dragon tail. These are custom shanks, so all it is a piece of wire twisted. Same with this, I've just made a small shank and attached the dragon tail to the back portion of this to act as the connection. You can do a quick connect, but for me it's not going to be worth it. Anyways, we're tying on 150 Vivis GSP, and this is actually a relatively simple pattern because there's only pretty much 3 materials in the whole thing, which is what you got right here: the dragon tail, bucktail, and flash. That's it. Basically, it's going to be super high contrast fly. We're going to have bright pink here in the back, and the rest of it's going to be black. This is just what a lot of people like, and that's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to take some hot pink bucktail here, kind of move it around, select what I want. We don't really have to worry about having really nice hollow fibers because this fly is basically all like forward tied. So come in here, we're just brushing out all that, all those smaller fibers and underfur. You can also take a comb through this and just kind of get out those fibers you don't really need. And all we're doing is just coming in, measuring this out. And what I'm measuring this for is kind of the meat back here, kind of cover that shank. We're going to spin our thread there, make 2 loose secure wraps, and we're just going to kind of rotate that material. And then flare a little bit, secure that down, grab our scissors, and we'll just trim off this excess. Got full coverage, which we do, and then I'm going to take some flash here. This is just some like hot pinkish flash, and we're going to add this to the back. You don't need too much, probably like, I don't know, 8 to 10 fibers. Really, I'm just going to half this, put one on the top, make another securing wrap, kind of splay that out with my thumb, make another securing wrap, and then I'm going to try to half this over the top of the hook shank and pull down. Try to gather all that material and just catch it. Helps to have a rotary vise right here, but you don't need it. Anyways, we're going to spread that material out on the bottom side of that hook shank and secure in. Pull up all those fibers. Try not to trap any of the bucktail in there and just trim out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, you want the fibers to kind of not have a singular taper to them. And I'll come in, dab some glue on that, and then basically we're just going to work up this fly with black. So we're just going to come in here, select a clump. You want to push down while you're cutting, give you the closest cut you can get. Brush out that underfur or any of the shorter fibers. I'm gonna take any of these longer fibers and kind of get them out of the way. We're trying to build a taper. So that looks pretty good right there. Just gonna go ahead and trim that off. And we're just gonna repeat the process all the way up the fly basically. The only spots that we'll do reverse tie are at the head and a little bit at this custom shank when I get to it. Pull down. I'm just going to help guide this bucktail around the hook shank. Alright. Remember, this should be a high contrast tail. Again, bucktail, come in, push down while you are pulling on the fibers. Get some of those longer fibers out. Don't really need. Just remember, always spin your thread depending on the way you're tying in the bucktail. So I'm going to spin this counterclockwise, and what that does is it helps you control your thread, so when you come up and make a loose wrap, it folds towards your hand, which is a lot easier than away or going wild on you or just loose. So got that. Making sure everything's good to go. That was a good learning lesson. Just make sure you get all of your material rotated on the shank right there. Now what I'm doing, I'm just coming up and cleaning this head because it's giving us a good tie-in point. We're going to come in here with some flash and tie it in. Alright, so now that we got that cleaned up, we're going to throw in some flash, just some black Flashaboo. Again, about 8 to 10 fibers. This fly is not very flashy, so really I'm just coming in, making 2 secure wraps on top, spreading the material with my thumbnail, as you can see, making some securing wraps, and then I'm splitting this material on the top best as you can, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make 2 securing wraps, rotate over, and just kind of work that material, spread it out, and secure it tight. Alright, now we trim. So you're just kind of trimming at an angle. And trimming at an angle. And now comes our last turn of bucktail, and this one is going to be reverse tied. So typically what you see in hollow flies and everything, this is what we're doing right now. Coming in, grabbing about a pencil's worth. Then you're going to measure out. Should be about good. So I'm going to flip this over in my hand. Measure one more time. That should be about good. We're gonna trim these butt ends. And we're gonna do a reverse tie. So this time we're gonna spin clockwise. Get that thread nice and bright. Just gonna pull down. We're going to rotate that material. Make sure we're kind of even. Come in, throw in some glue. We're good to go right there. It is just a Proto pushback tool. So you can use a pen, anything. Just coming in here, pushing this material back. We're going to create a thread dam, just like on most musky flies. This one's just a little different. We're going to build that dam up. Make sure you got your thread control good to go. All right, now we're going to tie off. Just throw some whip finishes in there. Trim off, and what I like to do with the head here, make sure we don't have any trap fibers, and if you do, just kind of pick them out, cut them off. I don't have too many in there, but what I like to do is come in with some super glue just to make sure we're good here and we don't have any thread slippage. Just come in, put a base of super glue on the top and bottom, and that should keep any fibers staying where they should be. All right, now to the custom shank. So basically what you'll need, jeweling pliers here. They're basically round all the way around. And this shank has a connection to where you can attach a treble hook on it. So what we're going to do, we're going to basically go halfway between that eye of the shank and the treble connection or hook connection, and we're just going to bend this wire up. So like that. So that's probably about a 45-degree angle maybe, but we want this to rod down this way. And the way we attach our hook is we come in here, slide that through the eye, and then we attach to the shank. Real quick, we're going to go over this. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining anything because it's the same process all the way up to the fly until the head, and I'll get to there. But what I am going to do, I'm going to take some mono thread here, get that started. Trim that off. And the reason I'm going to do this is because it's going to help me build up. Not really for the true fly, but it's going to help me get the fly to where it's not going to kink in this part right here. All right. So basically all I'm doing is I'm walking that thread, or that mono thread, up. And if it doesn't slide back on me like that. Basically all I'm doing is I'm walking this mono thread up, trying to keep it coming up that bend there, and then just coming back down. Then we're going to come in with our Vivus 150 denier. And when I hit this spot back here with that mono thread with super glue, and that'll kind of keep it in place. Now we're just going to continue down to the bend here. And you could choose to do this right here. Usually what I like to do is do a reverse tie, just because of the eye. But for the sake of time, we're just going to work up the fly for tying this bucktail in. So we're going to come in with black, and I'll work through this and get to the shank bend here and show you what we do there. All right, and typically the rule that I like going by is every 4 turns of bucktail, I'll come back in with 8 to 10 fibers of flash. Half that. Two securing wraps. Dig your nail into at least try to dig your nail into that, get it worked around like a securing wrap. Come in with the bottom part, 2 securing wraps, turn back over. That's actually flared pretty good. 2 securing wraps, and then we're gonna advance forward. Remember, we're gonna cut this stuff at an angle keep it a taper. Cut it and keep it at a taper. Alright. Throw some glue in there. Now I'm just going to kind of work up the shank to kind of dress it. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and get this loop kind of cemented in. And all I'm doing is just doing like a figure 8 pattern, kind of with just like dumbbell eyes, but just coming in with a figure 8 pattern, getting a ball build up basically. Just trying to get it to where it's good to go. If you need to bend it, but it should be good. Got that. And I'll just come ahead and hit this spot with some super glue. That way it cements itself. And we're going to keep working with the bucktail. So let's get back to it. Alright, that was 4 turns of bucktail. I'm gonna come in here, just clean this up, and we're gonna come back in with flash one more time. 8 to 10, close enough. Half it on top or bottom, whichever way it's facing. Lock it in place. Pull it under. 1, 2. Hold on top. Make sure we're all good to go here. Make sure you are locking this stuff in, because if not, you'll have an issue with it spinning. We're going to trim that flash, just come in at an angle. At an angle. Looks pretty good to me. Alright. Here's where I told you that we're going to do a little different up here. And what I'm going to do is reverse tie this. So we're going to get a pencil worth of deer hair right here. Same step as the head of the back portion of the fly. Stripping out all those fibers that we don't need. Judging the length. That's pretty good right there. I'm gonna trim those butt ends. Make sure I have my thread spun. Come over twice. Then we're going to pull down and move that material around. There's some glue in there. One more wrap in that. Just make sure we're going to come in here, brush these materials back. We'll gather these materials and we're going to spin our thread and create a bullet. Not really a loose wrap, but not a tight one either. And then we're just going to lock that thread. Try not to get hooked. There's some super glue on that. And then what we're going to do now involves some of the conventional tackle. This is what bass fishermen use for like Nico 8s or wacky rigs. This is just a Nico wacky rig, and you can see they got ridges on it. And we're gonna make a thread base here all the way up to the tip here. I'm actually gonna rotate this, pull this off. You can rotate them and use the eyelet here as a point of contact for your vise. Alright, now that we got that in, you got a little bit more control over that springiness. So we're going to take that Nico 8, this is a 3/16 ounce, and we're going to basically match that bend. So there we go, get started. And this is a super effective way to tie these on and get weight in your fly, especially on jigging flies. And they won't pull out because of those thread locks basically. But just to be sure, I'm going to come in here and do a figure 8 or wrap under the weight and we're going to come in, wrap back, and I'm going to take some really thin super glue right here and just basically dab onto that. Just a napkin, I'm just kind of wiping it down. We're going to repeat the steps, and when I get to the head I'll talk to you about it. So we're going to get about 2 clumps of bucktail back here, and then we'll start the head. Now we're going to come in and do the collar of the fly. Basically, I'm going to take these bucktail fibers in a good bit, probably about the thickness of a marker or 2 pencils, like a Sharpie marker. I'll come in, cut those off, make sure I got all the tips I want. Brush that out, but I'm going to come and brush all those out and kind of measure this out. It doesn't need to exactly be the length, just need to have it as a collar. So going to come in, spin our thread, actually wrap one more notch up, and I'm going to make a loose wrap, a couple loose wraps, and pull down. And we're going to rotate that material. See how that flared out? And this leaves us about 2, maybe 3 clumps to tie in at. And I'm going to tie one right here at the base of that. And what I'm doing with this is I'm coming in with the top of the bucktail here. So where all these wiry fibers are, all hollow, you got to be really careful with these because they will cut your thread. There's a lot of under fur in here. Again, coming in, this is the size of like a big marker. Scissors. I highly recommend some razor scissors because this makes the process a whole lot easier. Grab your tips. Grab your brush, kind of work through that. Try to get as much of that under fur out as possible in those short fibers. And I'm going to come in, spin my thread. I'm going to tie this clump in about the halfway point. Two secure wraps, pull down, and then just work the fibers like we have been. You're just working it, pulling it, kind of working up the shank. Then I'm going to grab these fibers, try to work them backwards. We're going to pull directly below and over. Make a little thread dam here. It's kind of hard because of that kink, but you get the gist. Make a little thread dam in front of that. Keep that material flayed out and move up. And this should give us enough for one more piece of hair here. Again, coming in with about that big marker size. Wrapping your tips. And tying it at the halfway point. Making sure that thread is spun. Not only does this make the looser wraps rotate towards your hand, but it also gives the thread a little strength. 1, 2, pull down, and then we're gonna work that around the hook. And give her a flare. And I'm just going to walk this up to back behind the head here. Pull these back, pull up. And then what I like to do is I like to get in front of that weight there, wrap a couple times, but work up right under that. And then I'm gonna whip finish this. We get some fibers trapped, no big deal, we'll cut them out. I'll pull back towards the back of the fly and trim off. I highly recommend, if you enjoy tying Bufords, you get some curved scissors, and all we're gonna do is come in here and just trim up these fibers, man. It's as simple as that. This is a really cool and effective pattern. The deer hair acts as a natural buoyancy, so it falls a lot slower than you think it would with that really heavy jig head in there. A rotary vise is super helpful in this, but you don't need it. Honestly, I'm more comfortable having this in my hand. This is just for the sake of the video. Now it gets a little weird coming right here in between the shank portion. You kind of got to angle your scissors. And honestly, I found that taking the fly out of the vise, making sure none of those fibers are trapped in there. And I like coming in behind that shank and just trimming up the fly that way. Just being careful not to cut any of your collars. But it makes it a little easier. And this doesn't have to be a perfect head, because again, this is just a sinking fly. It's a jigging Buford. And you'd be surprised at how slow this actually sinks. It's a really cool and effective pattern, and I recommend anybody tying it. When you're fishing around structure, you don't even need to put in a treble, but if you're fishing open river, you know, throw the treble on there, and then you got extra hooks in there. Whether that's an inline or a treble, you got a way to pin that fish, and as well as back here. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any more recommendations on flies that you want to see, make sure you leave it in the comments there. And again, thank you for all your support. I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, share the video, and fish on.